Here we are onto the Rift. First rule of Vetti's Fight Club is bring your friends. So we're going to go with that Fight Club today because it looks like that's the one we're going to see.
30 seconds
Do they? Okay, so they are going to hug the wall all the way around the tower.
Done.
But Fnatic are reading them, and Rogue are going to back away. So they're not going to go for the 5-man invade. If they did,
Did you hear the Pink
Pink Panther music in the background.
I thought you were doing Jaws for the first half a second. I was like, that's fair. That's the one you.
And then it went.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
It's
here we
because
are.
during the Sabathon, there was so much Pink Panther and Tom and Jerry watched on Casual Stream that the song got stuck in my head. So when I saw that, that's just what came to me. I'm
Base
sorry.
cage leader. Good choice. And for the first time in the series, we see Malrang not running first strike. Has the phase rush this time around, so a little bit more mobile.
I'm now a
fights.
Malrang hater. Okay.
How dare
No Hex Flash, no first strike. You've changed.
Which could be positive. Let's see. Total time camped in a brush this series for Malrang. It's a big number.
All right,
Don't
Dracos.
have it.
Of
Hide on
course,
bush, literally.
in games like this, when teams are at match point, we casters love to talk about narrative. And I want you to bring up the numbers about Fnatic's head-to-head record against Rogue, because we've already been emphasizing it. We're going to emphasize it again. When you look at the head-to-heads, you can see that Fnatic is slightly favored. During the regular season, they're dead even. When it comes to playoffs, Fnatic has never lost a game to Rogue. They are currently 8-0. And expectations were that Rogue would be able to do something different this time around. And already in the 2v2, we see some action, but if they end up falling short in this game, it will be 9-0 to Fnatic all time in playoffs. And that is not a record that Rogue want to live with.
Quick math, that's 3 3-0s and best of 5s right there. That's confidence, that's organizational dominance, and definitely something Rogue want to avoid. And remember, if these are the two teams we expected to be #1 in the league. If Fnatic win in 3-0, they are the clear final boss of the LEC. And Rogue are suddenly in an arms race with G2, with Misfits, to see who can improve the most, who can win these best of 5s and come back swinging in finals. Or are we going to be in a league where it's Fnatic on top and no one else can contest them?
We've talked about Rogue, we've talked about Humanoid Larson, but one last thing I want to touch on is, hang on a second, Hillisang, looking for Trimby, has hook in 5, has the play as well.
Lay back. Where's the hook going to go? Waiting a few more seconds.
The last person, well, people I want to talk about is Wunder Odoamne. I mean, how many times have these players played up against each other on how many different rosters? They've both been on Splice. Schalke was for Odoamne. The head-to-head 22-25, so despite Wunder's G2 dominant days, Odoamne still almost toe-to-toe. Regular season also even. So many playoffs. I mean, Odoamne's been in the league for, what, 6-7 years? World semis. Wunder, one of the most achieved Western top laners Europe's ever seen.
It's a very, very old rivalry, the fact that these two players have been playing against each other for so long. It's actually one of our most played matchups that we have here in the LEC. Both of them, they're getting on a bit, for sure. But it's a rivalry and a matchup that we've seen so many times. And let's see if Wunder can come out on top.
Maybe sometimes a little bit overlooked because top lane role, right? You never really join the team. Your team gets ahead or behind. You don't really get that much resources depending on the meta. So many, many years of many matchups. And this time around, it's Odoamne on the carry. Larson, yeah, very low here. Razor could get him in a combo. Humanoid could flash stun as well. Malrang's on the way. He's on a ward though, so he's going to get spotted.
Be careful.
Yeah, ping's coming down.
Alright, just hovering, just trying to wait, just trying to give Larson space, but in the meantime he is missing CS. Odoamne, big positive trade on the top side. Wunder bullied back. Ooh, Razork.
He's still hovering. He's looking for it.
Larson.
Ooh, he's not caught in the shot. Larson still aware that a potential gank could come through. Will avoid it. Gets a bit of his HP back.
Dancing with fire.
Keeping the pressure up. Hilly now joins the fray.
It's like a Smash character. Joins the battle. But he's just going to back off. Joins the fight, sorry.
There you go, fine.
Larson needs the base. He's been sitting on this recall timer. He's been recalling more times than he's been CSing in the last minute. He needs to get his base off, TP back. He's lost so many creeps already. He's going to cancel it again, so wants to farm one more wave. I think the problem he has is when he bases, what does he buy? Maybe an Amtone and a Pink Ward, but maybe he wants a little bit more.
Yep. That range advantage in the early laning phase on top of the fact that Humanoid took Minion Dematerializer, making it so easy for him to secure push, secure priority in that mid lane. Easy back now is finally Larson's going to be able to get some of that CS back.
Jungle spotted for Fnatic. Pings onto Razork as to where he will be as that ward is placed. Odoamne with the top push getting a little bit of deep vision. Does that ward spot Malrang? Not too sure, but still, they should know they're pathing towards the top side. Larson finally TP's back with the Amtone. And now the jungle spot of Fnatic moving towards mid. Trimby is hovering around because he's reading some kind of play. Mid lane contest will be what we'll see soon.
Wunder feeling a bit more confident. Steps forward here, and certainly Odoamne, yes,
Trimby.
advantage in this lane. Hold that thought as Hillisang Now walking away slowly but surely. 3v3 around the mid lane. Razork wants to fish for the reset on the E.
Both of them want to fight, but they just need to find the right angles every single time. It's not in their favor. They're going to back away. Trimby finds a knock-up. Fnatic back away. Knock-up's on cooldown. Razork joins. Now they're going to push Trimby back. They're all contesting mid-wave here because if Humanoid can get this mid-wave in, he's unlocked on the map at level 6. Malrang says, screw that. I'm going towards top. Wunder trying to crash this wave onto Odoamne.
Malrang now stepping in. Wunder should be taken down here. Maybe he can get some damage done with that passive, but that's an easy first blood pickup. Odoamne already miles away. Wunder going to delete the wave, but not a whole lot else.
A clean, straightforward gank. Rogue had information as to where Razork was on the map. They knew that he was around the bot side, given that Hilly and him were contesting that vision in the river. And so Malrang said, you know what, screw it. I have boots, I can rush top, I can make the kill happen. And Wunder, slightly overextended in the lane, means he loses his life.
We talked about the history these top laners have, but one thing that is inevitable is jungle roll. Comes and takes out Wunder. Odoamne gets a free base. And he swaps to Ignite here, Wunder. So Odoamne might have to be careful the next time they fight off against each other with the ultimate. The Ignite will help out a little bit more damage.
Level 6 Sion, a lot of kill pressure. Because we have a brief moment here in this early game before either side has an insurmountable advantage. I want to ask you at home, do you believe in Rogue? Can they complete the reverse sweep? Vote now on our Discord so we can get the results.
That is a dangerous vote, my friend.
Maybe we know the results, but that'll make it that much sweeter if Rogue do manage to bring it back.
Well, right now, Rogue do find themselves with a bit of another game lead. I will say, for Rogue, one of the advantages that they have this time around is that given Razork is on Diana, his ability to create early game action, much harder. Yep. Much harder. Diana, typically much more of a scaling jungler. She can make some plays happen, but you can see that the fans, there are some believers. What do you call them, Cajal? Doubters? Is that what you say? There are some doubters in chat in terms of the ability to come back.
They don't believe.
They don't believe.
Dang. I've never seen a vote this one-sided since Cajal tried to beat Millennium.
Okay. Well, hang on, why is this all this stuff going towards me? Whoa. Is it because I'm in the middle? Is it because I'm in the middle?
Yes. That's why we put you here, to bully you.
As it always is. Now
Speaking of getting ball lead, yep, there it is. Gold card coming in. Odoamne trying to get a little bit of damage back. A good flash out to safety. Odoamne going for the knockback here. Razork on the way too. There's just no way he gets out of that. Quick kill traded back. Malrang in the area. Larson now moving up. He can take away the ult from Razork. They're trying to lay down the burst damage. Razork now going in. Big damage. Wunder going into zombie mode. Can start to fire back onto Larson. Suddenly, Wunder finding another.
Wait,
yes,
Malrang
they do manage to take down Humanoid, but Malrang is just so powerful. Razork flashing out to safety. Malrang no flash to his name. So we'll walk away in the end.
Credit to Larson. Can't wait to see the replay there. What he did was he took away the Diana ultimate and then he R-flashed on top of two members of Fnatic. So it looked good initially for them. And the 2v3 maybe was a bit risky, but the way that Larson played this fight was just tremendous.
So interesting that Fnatic choosing to invest their first TF ultimate up towards the top side, of course. Shutting Odoamne down, very viable option, but they just saw an opportunity with a stacked wave. Malrang and Larson are able to respond though, and then the steal comes through, the ultimate flash to guarantee onto two. The problem here is the revival of Wunder. If he doesn't come back, then Rogue win this straight up 2v2, but it's 3v2 still, given he has that passive, and it results in a 2-for-2 on either side.
The Baus is somewhere in the world, and he's smiling after that one, seeing the zombie form get a kill. Now, Hylissang's up towards the top side. Upset's full rotated as well, because the Herald just spawned. Now, Odoamne has pushed the top wave in, but they're already on it, so they're going to call the bluff.
Hylissang. Essentially the Hylissang moment we are witnessing on screen right now. Upset on the way in, but level 5. Heal now coming out. Shock Blast. Malrang going to finish it there with the Rampage.
This is an early game where Malrang looks a lot more comfortable. He's alive. 4 kills for Rogue, all of them off the back of Malrang.
Falling up, abscond into the abduct, double kill. This is a massacre in jungle. This is what happens when you give Malrang one of his comfort picks. Finally, we see him with a lead, with an advantage in the early game.
And you talked about it, Vedius. Razork's not on a champ that he can impact the early game. Malrang sort of is. He has playmaking at level 6. He found some early kills, and now he's going to be a tanky boy. He's going to be pretty much unkillable for Fnatic in the early stages until the Jinx gets some items, because you have a tank top, the Diana's behind, and the TF doesn't really come online until 2 or 3 items.
But what we were talking about last week was how Rogue did a great job of shutting down Zlatan's early game. He just tracked the enemy jungle, mitigated what he could do, and basically prevented him from finding early game success. I feel like we're seeing that from Malrang again. Every time Razork is moving anywhere on the map, Malrang is there, ready with the rest of Rogue to support him. We're not just seeing scaling laners from Rogue this time around. We're not seeing Trimby locked in his lane. All in all, Rogue have way more agency in the early game to go toe-to-toe with Fnatic.
Yeah, I think the problem Rogue had in the last couple of games was 1, Malrang was in a losing jungle matchup. 2, you had Gnar and Victor solo lanes, which you can't play for. And 3, you just said it, no support engaged for Trimby. He's playing range supports, and that pink ward missing does hurt a bit, but he was in the bush and he had vision anyway, and he didn't expect a Malrang to pop out of it.
And you look
a little bit.
You look at the numbers on the minimap and you can see, well, there's 4 on the top side from Fnatic, but LEC is just overextended here. His AD carry is farming in the tower, but more action.
Good knock-up, stops the charge from coming through. Razor tanky. Malrang doesn't want to risk it here. Odoamne relatively low mana, has already burned some of his cooldowns.
I guess they were a little worried about Razork's ultimate there, overcommitting, especially with how tanky Wonder already is. Trimby was not in the area, but you can see his movement. I'm keeping my eyes on Humanoid as well. He has the TP, well, his ultimate rather, available. He could look to move towards the bot side of the map.
It's a pretty interesting map state because Comp pushes mid and covers Larson tops. You have your AD carry shadowing your weak side, and then Trimby being the playmaker on bot side. So Rogue juggling both these side lanes pretty perfectly right now. And Fnatic can't really find the play just yet. They don't have Herald, so they can't crack this top tower open, but Upset will keep the push up. They can't look for a dive onto Larson though, because Razork was bot side, so Fnatic need to fix these lane assignments a little bit so they can pressure on one side.
Odoamne going in, getting aggressive onto Wonder. Trying to maximize the value out of that Conqueror in a quick trade.
Look at the deep vision Rogue having bot side. Hang on a second, Wonder.
Wonder if he connects on this one, he might not even need to connect on this one. The knock-up still manages to come through. Ulti coming out. They realize that Malrang's already there and the play would not have worked out. Wonder just zooming away. That's the ghost he picked up from the Summoner's Spellbook. Now the ult finally coming in. Wonder still standing for now. Rocket from downtown. Odoamne. Good sidestep, good heads-up play. Was not caught shopping, was not caught watching the exchange between Malrang and Wonder.
That was a bit of a Humanoid mod check moment because he popped ult and he could have ulted in because Odoamne has no flash. But they could have got the kill, but I think he was a bit scared because the second he used it, he saw Malrang sprinting down the river and he was like, well, if I go in there, I'm going to be the target and I'm going to die. Wonder's tanky enough to get out. No one wins in the end.
I just had this image of, you know, Humanoid and Wonder attacking bot, and they're like, we're going to get that kill. And then all of a sudden the lights turn on, and there's just this Hecarim with a giant sword sitting in a bush being like, hello. And he's like, no, I'm going to piece that up. I will come back to this boss later. The Tree Sentinel too strong for me now. I'll level up, come back later.
Yeah, we call that the not Vedius maneuver, when you leave a boss till you're stronger. Razor. Stepping in, good gold card, not really enough damage yet in the game. And we're not at horror movie status from Malrang quite yet, but he is strong and he is very scary. It's not like, do not go out and fix the generator, Fnatic. There is a horseman out there and he will murder you. But we are dangerously close to that point. That is what I will say.
Yeah, definitely are. And Malrang is running up and down the river. There's a Herald pop to make sure Comp's a little bit further ahead. Plates falling off in around a minute. This tower is very low. They could look for a dive, but Trimby has no flash, no ultimate.
Humanoid is on the way, along with Razor.
Dangerous.
Traps go down. Upset flashing out to safety. Razork in the area. This could be a big Diana ult. He hits 2, but they still manage to make it back under the tower, and they're going to be fine. Herald crashes. Tower goes down. Rogue gets the play.
Yeah, Fnatic don't arrive in time. Hylissang didn't have flash either, I believe, so he was singled out after Upset flashed away, and Trimby not having flash and ult. I was a bit worried there for Rogue because Fnatic was collapsing, but managed to get the play, get out, get the tower too, so 3k gold lead in Rogue's pocket. First time in the series we see Rogue alive in the early stages, all off the back of Malrang.
I wanted to get your opinion on this. Do you think a cross map here would have been better for Fnatic? Play for the second Drake instead of actually trying to stop the dive from happening?
Depends on the map state earlier on. I think Upset pushing in top, maybe they thought that's where they want to put their resources.
Yeah, I guess they were worried about Upset dying as well.
Yeah, I think if Upset based and maybe he went out towards bot when they took the reset earlier on, then they could look for some kind of cross map.
That makes sense.
But I think the other side of the coin is Rogue have a Herald. So if you play for that Dragon, you could lose a tier 2 top.
True, yeah.
So the thing is, when the enemy team has a Herald in the first 15 minutes of the game, the second Herald, you always have to play to kind of defend here. Because this Herald could take a tier 2 if you don't have temp on the other side and you have a Scion lane, so that's pretty difficult. There's the dive. Pretty easy does it. Razor gets the ultimate. Wonder is low.
Stepping out. Comp gonna flash over with full confidence there and finish off that kill.
Gets the crit this time, is able to secure it, and now all 5 members of Rogue are bot.
Zombie form not gonna be enough this time around, you have to think, but Wonder holding on for a while there. Can walk forward and try to clear the way. There it is! No! Yes!
Oh, he was shopping! He was in the window, and when his rocket got interrupted, he didn't even notice.
Wait, what's Hilly doing? Hilly, this is not where you want to be. There's a stolen Scion ult. He's going to run you down.
Larson, can he bend it? Have we got Vin Diesel on Scion here? Can he drift around the corner?
Tokyo drift, baby.
Gets the kill.
That's all she wrote.
Oh, man. God, that rocket was, I don't know, it just went past everyone on Rogue and just ended up hitting on Odoamne. It was threading the needle right there.
But it's the fact that he then just stood still, where he's like coming out of the shop and he's like, wait, what?
His screen just goes grey all of a sudden. No, where the rocket's coming towards him, like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'll tank it up.
It doesn't matter where he is. It doesn't matter how many people are around him. Oda will find a way to get ganked. You know, the life of a top laner.
First the jungle, then the rockets.
Jungle,
TF
mid, AD
ultimate.
carry, they're all there every
Yeah.
time. Life for top laner.
And if not, the support's probably there in spirit anyway. Shot calling the bloody thing at the start. Anyway, this is what happened off screen as we were looking at the replay on top. Odoamne trading onto Wunder. Rogue collapsing first, but Razork coming through lane. Flash knockback. We'll see if they have the damage. Razork obviously doesn't have the burst, doesn't have the ultimate because he used it top earlier on.
And here comes the crit from Com. Able to back-to-back crits. Ends up securing that kill, and then Wunder realizes that he is at a numbers disadvantage. Odoamne's like, hey, I can help. Lands the shock blast, and the damage is enough from.
Here we go.
Here we go. Wunder is like,
WD
Wait, so at this point,
I want
it's
the
the
creeps.
Undertaker. Here he comes.
And look, he just stops. He's not even looking because he's like,
Damn,
and he stands still as well. Oh no, he gets the wave afterwards. Imagine he just stood there, menacingly.
That's funny.
It's like Odo made a rude joke about a significant other. He just had to go up there, tell him what's
And
what.
then slap him on stage.
Yep. So it felt like
Get that name out of your mouth.
I wasn't gonna go all the way, but there it is.
Oh no.
Anyway, Humanoid shadowing bot.
Oh yeah, 3-9. Rogue.
Fnatic looking for this bot tier run.
3K lead. And of course, G2
Razork.
lower bracket buff. We're gonna have to find out later because for now, Razork just getting obliterated in the mid lane.
Ooh,
Lantern
nice heal.
gonna ferry him out to safety again. 3K gold lead for Rogue. Drake's tied. Another tower falling down as Humanoid and Wunder are on the side lane, slowly evening things up. But still a Rogue favored game for now.
Yeah, we're 16 minutes in, 9 kills to 3. Rogue find themselves with just short of a 3K gold lead. They're attacking multiple towers across the map. Larson trying to get a little bit of a skirmish with Humanoid, but he's just going to disengage from that. The next Drake in about 3 minutes time, this will be the Herald from Malrang. They'll likely use this to break open the mid tier 1. Fnatic will not be able to contest, and you know, we said we wanted to see change from Rogue. We said that with the pressure on, they need to show us something different. And so far, they have done a great job. Malrang has been unlocked on the map. He has been involved in 8 of the team's 9 kills. And this is really why Malrang was a part of that MVP conversation during the regular season, right? It was him coming in, being a lot more focused to setting up his laners. And so far in this series, this is the first game we've really seen him get to do that.
Yeah, a lot of things have gone right for Rogue. The offseason looked pretty risky, a little bit dangerous, losing those star players, but of course Malrang slotted in so fantastically well, and I think despite, yes, Comp has also slotted in very well, but I think for me, Trimby's been the biggest surprise. I mean, Worlds last year, he was struggling a lot. You know, there was a bit of a civil war going on in Rogue. Maybe Trimby lacking a little bit of confidence, especially a little bit last year in the regular season, but now talks the most, biggest shot caller, looks like night and day compared to last year. He's evolved so much alongside this Rogue roster.
And I think when you have those vocal players enabled with picks like the Rakan, more proactive picks, Malrang we know who loves to be that early, aggressive jungler. And on something like that, Grim, that is just so incredibly, like, we know how powerful it is because it's literally nerfed in the next patch by a massive, massive amount. This champion is incredible right now. Trimby, with the confidence to step forward, to put in vision, to move into Fog of War. He can't do that on a Lulu, but he can do it on a Rakan.
And of course with Malrang, there may be a little bit of a language barrier. League in itself is a language, but Trimby kind of has to compensate for that, so has to step up even more so. Great to see from him. Looking at this game though, the problem Fnatic have right now is all the kills they have are on Wunder, and they've kind of been in trades most of the time. Fnatic haven't actually found any proactivity with this Twisted Fate that Humanoid has had so much success on in the past. Bot tier 2 is going to be the focus. Larson using the TF ultimate himself.
Stepping away. Waiting for the charge in now. They've already broke down mid lane, so focusing instead on the tier 2 here in the bottom lane. Easy pickup as they hold on to that 3K gold lead. Humanoid will clear that one away.
So the question you might ask right now is what do Fnatic do? And I think the best thing they can do right now is just wait for second items. You can see the 2 Zeals on the carries of Fnatic. Double Rapid Fire will be a bit of a game changer for them because of the distance that they can play on. You know, you can look for a stun with Rapid Fire, Jinx W, hit with a Thresh Hook, single out one target that's not comp because he has Cleanse, of course, get that kill and then start to move forwards very slowly and keep playing on those rotations. The problem is, Drake's in 60 seconds. I think they can afford to give that one up though.
Speaking of items, I noticed the Frozen Heart being done for Malrang. Really good item, in particular against what Fnatic have drafted.
Yep.
Razork on the Diana, very attack speed reliant. Humanoids, very similar. There's just a lot of attack speed on this side and you get a lot of value out of it. And considering you get decent health already, I think the itemization is a good choice here from Malrang. Currently level 10. I imagine he's pretty close to level 11 as Razork has already secured that one. But they are setting up for the Drake right now. Looks Fnatic are not going to try and contest. There aren't really any outer towers for them to contest, and props to them for actually being able to secure that. The problem is there's not a lot of standing gold. Something we often talk a lot about, Caedrel, is when you're behind, there's like a lot of standing gold for you to be able to collect if you can find that way back into the game, but this gold deficit is pretty significant for Fnatic right now, and the first time in this series, we've really seen them this far behind.
You can see, yeah, look at the positioning on the map. Fnatic, 3 members up towards the top side. Wunder's pushing out. This dragon is gone. There's no way they're going to contest it in any universe. So can they look for something top? Maybe they can look for a pick, but Rogue's not stupid enough to put a member up there. Maybe they can look for a tier 2. I think the good news for Fnatic is I think after this Drake, they should get objective bounties with the gold lead, the dragon lead. and the level discrepancies, maybe there's going to be some kind of objective bounties for them, so maybe they can start to trade a bit more aggressively, you know, when lose a tier 3 for a top tier 2, something a little bit fancy, lose a top tier 2 for a bot tier 2. We'll see what they opt to do, because they have got good side lane pressure. I mean, Odoamne can match the Sion, yes, but they have TF ultimate, right? So could be a 2v1.
Similarly, Fnatic have fantastic setup, but right now, because they are behind their individual counterparts on the opposite side, just starting to catch up in terms of itemization, they lacked the damage previously. Shouldn't be an issue any longer when they see the TF ulti up and available. They can look to make plays. They can look to break Rogue apart. Comp does have the cleanse, makes him a bit of a difficult target, but there is always the option to try and find a pick.
So Upside went for the Phantom Dancer instead of the Rapid Fire. I think that's probably because of Rogue's dive with Sylas, Hecker, and Rakan. Just helps him kite back a little bit more. So we'll see how that plays out. The later the game goes, just makes it so he can't really walk up and contest mid-waves as aggressively and get hits onto Comp to force him back or anything along those lines, and will be outranged by the Jays. But for now, Nash is up 21 minutes into the game. Fnatic grouping up to try and get some vision.
Defending their pink for now. Hosang hovering, waiting in the darkness. Razork there as well. Larssen takes a wrong step here, could be in trouble, but should be all right for now as Humanoid looks to regroup with the team. They need to handle this mid-wave. Rogue not going to risk pushing too deeply into Fog of War until they've got priority in that mid lane.
Still no objective bounties for Fnatic, but still looking for a pick themselves. If anyone steps up, like we talked about, they have so much CC and lockdown for that single target. Now looking towards the top. They have TF ultimate as well to clap onto Larssen, as you were talking about Dracos. Could be a bit vulnerable, but Trimby is hovering around. TF ultimate used now. Nothing to look for, though.
Not committing to any play. Fnatic primarily using it for a bit of information. The bot wave right now going to be stuck and in this awkward spot, but it is pushed towards Fnatic's side of the map. I believe that is slowly pushing back towards Rogue's side, but they don't care for now. They are set up around the Baron, and they're actually going to start this one off. The blue trinket will spot them out. Mid-wave uncontested for the time being.
Hosang locked up, big damage. Hosang picked up before the fight even begins. There's no fight there. And it's just a death. Odoamne zoning away. Comp, great guns to keep this one going.
Where's Trimby?
Blue ult available as well. If they overextend, Trimby with the two-man knock-up, ulti across three. That's massive damage. It's the perfect setup for an Aphelios. Trimby with a clutch engage. Larssen TPing back in and on the hunt for upset. Gale Force comes out. He's got the Phantom Dancer as well. He's running for his life. The stolen Jinx ultimate should be able to finish the job, but a clean flash away from upset. He's looking for the outplay, but he can't quite find it. Maybe. Larssen, perfect escape in the end, is forced to use the stopwatch, but that's going to be the Baron for Rogue.
And in the end, that's a 5-for-0 for Rogue as well. I mean, what more do you want in a turn from a double knock-up on the enemy mid-jungle into a Hecarim ult, into an Aphelios blue gun? It was basically pixel perfect. All the cards in Rogue's hands now that they get this Baron when they base. Hylissang looking for a couple of people. Maybe they can stop his bases, but they're already gone.
From start to finish, this has just been a Rogue-dominated game, and here Larssen says, you know what, you just used your hook, you're only level 8, I can just obliterate you. Flawless one-shot from Larssen, and then we have to track this engage from Malrang. The wombo combo is huge.
Yeah, knock up into the Hecarim ult, into the Charm, into the Aphelios ult. What can they realistically do? Humanoid tries to flank to the very end, but there's no escaping that. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, Rogue running away with this early game. You can see how much of a difference we can see night and day from Rogue in the last 2 games in this one.
And I think the big thing to note here when we look at the series holistically, yes, right now Rogue are fighting for their lives and they look good in this game, but this is the most dominant game we've seen in the entire series. Both of Fnatic's wins had back and forth moments where Rogue tried to claw their way back in, where they found singular fights, and that has not been the case for Fnatic so far when they're falling behind.
And we know that when Rogue get these early leads and they have this control, they are very good at closing out games. Very early on, they're already sieging onto these tier 2s. Playing through 2 lanes right now. They actually have Malrang splitting off towards the bot side of the map. Remember, he can rotate very quickly, even though he doesn't have the Ghost.
Yeah, Siege coming in.
Setting up the pressure.
Siege coming in, yeah. Mid tier 2 should die. Cannon Minion will take that one. Odoamne wants to group up because he has a little bit of poke, and there's only a top tier 2 that he can siege on. It's a bit dangerous to send Odoamne top to push out the wave because Fnatic will just straight up engage, and the second he TPs, I'll back off. So poke coming out again. Comp popping the ultimate.
Setup can snare onto Hylissang for a bit of extra chip damage, but won't amount to a whole lot. Aphelios gun's not great for a fight if Fnatic want to force something right now.
And a small thing to note, the reason Malrang is pushing bot is because Odoamne is more useful in the group up. What does Hecarim do when the waves are crashing? He can just look at them unless they engage. But the Jace can actually throw EQs out and zone them away as a ranged champ can hit towers. So smart play by the Rogue.
Here.
Larssen has the Sion ultimate if he wants to look for some kind of engage on the side. There's also drift out.
And just walk away. That's going to be the tower being broken down slowly but surely. Rogue pushing to the base. And the problem right now for Fnatic is if they pick a wrong fight, they will instantly lose because, frankly, they do not have the damage to work their way through the front line, unless Trimby gets caught out here. The leap back to safety. Wonder now going in. Maybe they get something done. That's leap in. That's the follow-up, but Trimby still stands. No, Upset now getting the reset. This could be massive for Fnatic. Humanoid now 74. That's going to be one more kill. Upset now popping off. Phantom Dancer fully stacked. He can zoom into the enemy back line. Comp now going to get picked off here. Gold card forward from Humanoid. That's the shutdown. My God, Fnatic, they found the turn, and suddenly they're right back in the game.
Oh, Fnatic popping off there. Upset and Humanoid off the back of it. Great engaged by Razork. A little bit of disrespect from Rogue trying to collapse onto this bot tier 3. Trimby initially getting hooked, and then Odobrame just couldn't find his way in the fight. He didn't have flash. He got knocked up. Upset with the Phantom Dancer was just free hitting, got one reset, and it was lights out there. Now Fnatic gonna get themselves a dragon.
Just a really big punish onto Trimby, with which Fnatic does not hesitate to capitalize on. Have a look at this. So Trimby trying to aggressively move towards the bot tower so that Rogue can continue the siege onto the base. But then the hook comes through from behind the wall. Great positioning there from Hillside because he was in the fog of war. Thank you, Observers, for highlighting that one. But then this engage flash, ultimate forces the flash out from Comp. He can then get collapsed upon, and you can just see Upset free hitting on the back line. Great back-to-back hooks from Hilly. Sets up for Humanoid to then collapse onto Comp, who has no flash, to allow Fnatic to win the team fight.
Yeah, it has the cleanse, but Humanoid has the damage to finish him off regardless. Another kill in Fnatic's back pocket. 4-4-1 in favor of them. A dragon as well. They stop the siege. Mid inhibs down, so Upset will be farming up. Same level as Comp right now.
And whatever you can say about Rogue and their consistency and the way that they can extend leads and how they play in the mid game, Fnatic are clutch. So many things had to go right there in that fight for them to be able to find that advantage, for them to be able to find anything. Comp with different guns, maybe it's a different fight. Trimby does not step forward into the fog of war. It is a different fight. Everything had to go their way, but now it gets so much easier. Now there's a third item for the Jinx. The Void Staff fully finished for Razork. Now they can start to hit hard, and if Rogue make a mistake like that again, Fnatic could just even up the gold.
Comp is looking to complete his Infinity Edge. Rogue are sieging onto the tier 2 in the top lane, and I think they should avoid a fight until Comp can actually get that item finished. He is so close to completing it. I think they should just disengage for now. The Baron spawns in a minute and a half, and you can see now he's going back to base, wants to spend that money, wants to make sure he gets the upgrade, and then Rogue can look for another fight.
Yeah, look at the gold difference between the AD carries. Only 600 gold difference now between them. The problem that Fnatic have, of course, is Larson, 3 items strong, has the Magi's past 10 stacks. Will be getting close to level 16, and such a skirmish heavy champion you have in the Sylas and the Hecarim. Odoamne finishing the Cyril. There's lots of items coming in from both sides, but most important thing here is Baron is spawning in 1 minute's time, and Fnatic need to find their way in. They have a little cheat code with the TF ultimate to guarantee themselves vision. They have 2 blue orbs to work with as well, but they need a little bit more than that.
And it's so important to highlight because as good as Fnatic did play that last fight, they are still walking on eggshells. They are still in trouble. Because a single good combo, a single good engage from Trimby, the follow-up from the Cephalios, who doesn't have attack speed items, he's got damage items. He will hit so hard.
Oh yeah.
They get hit by the Wombo combo, they will lose this game. We will go to game 4. It should be that easy for Rogue. That said, Fnatic, they find the perfect setup. They find the angle. If they find the reset for Upset, they can get their way back in.
I don't want to highlight the control that Rogue have right now. The Observers are doing a good job of it. You can see the amount of vision that's being denied. This whole area of the map is just, that's not what I wanted to highlight.
Odoamne's face, 50% of it.
I wanted to highlight the lack of vision that Fnatic have right now around this area of the map and the amount that is being denied. They're also pushing in multiple ways, keeping mid pushed in, keeping top pushed in, and the pressure just continues to mount from Rogue. They're playing the good macro game as they've often been known for.
And this is the bait. Scry's Bloom will help a bit. We'll spot out Comp. And now Rogue played the guessing game. Do they start it? Do they not? Do Fnatic think they're on it? Are they not? They have 1 blue orb and 1 TF ultimate for cheats. See if they can spot it out. They're going to start it up now. What spell will they use first? Fnatic still unaware that it's happening. Blue orb used to the side. Maybe they thought they were getting flanked there. So TF ultimate has to be invested. This Baron is going down. I don't know what HP it is, but it's probably getting melted. And it's gone! It's gone!
Fnatic. Rogue are just going to start to push in on the top side. Fnatic now have to just run back to their base. This is going to be so difficult to survive another siege. They're going to need another miracle, another big hook, something to try to find a way back in. Rogue in absolute control of the map once again.
Fnatic were just... They needed to know where the Rakan was. They were too scared. They had the blue orb to the right, to the left. They were scared of getting engaged on from the angles, from Hecarim, Rakan. But by the time they think about it, the Baron's already gone. Larson.
Hang locked up. That's the knock-up. They're immediately going to try to delete the Silas, but he buys a bit of time. Keep your eyes on Comp off to the side. Big ulti going to hit multiple members. So many chakrams stacked up. Upset immediately zoned out of the fight. The Aphelios is massive. Comp leaping forward with absolute confidence. Marked and taken down as Hylissang hits the floor. Rogue, they are not ready to give up in this series quite yet. Malrang zooming in, a gold card to buy a little bit of space, but all the time, all the miracles in the world, there is nothing left for Fnatic in this game. Rogue breaking down the mid lane, breaking Fnatic apart in that fight. Trimby fishing to finish this one as he gets the two-man knockup. He zones them away from their base. Rogue, Comp, maybe overstaying a bit here. Rogue now walking away, afraid of the reset again. Rogue, they had it in their hands and they're throwing it away because Fnatic are taking over. You cannot disrespect upset like that.
Unbelievable overstep from Rogue. They thought that the game was in their hands. Comp was just trying to play with them on the Nexus and they get punished for it. 4 members lose their Baron. The inhibitor respawns as well. And now the TP comes in from Wonder.
Larson once dove a fountain and it cost him a lot. This time it was Trimby who dove the fountain. A little more patience. They could have tempered their aggression. They could have wiped the blood out of their eyes and ended the game, but they got over eager and it has cost them so much.
Yeah, a little bit deep here, it looked like, by Larson and Trimby, because they're just funneling into a choke against Diana. Sion, the stopwatch, of course, buying a lot of time for Larson. Initial engage. Comp split off to the side, but look at the damage he gets done from the side. Instantly ults onto Upset. He's out of the fight. Hittersang stopwatch flash away. Q across the wall. He's out of the fight as well. You can see on the picture-in-picture, Fnatic do secure themselves a Drake, but this is where Rogue just get a little bit too overconfident, and it's Trimby, of all people, who I think is the most calm and collected of Rogue. He's the one diving the fountain. He ends up falling, gives Upset a reset, I believe, and as Comp dies, I think the flash towards the rest of the team, the actual rocket connects from Trimby, dashes into his own team, gives them the resets.
The inhibitor respawns as they're sieging onto their tower, and Humanoid dies.
Oh my god, Larson, 22 stacks on this Magi, so much damage. That's 50 seconds on Humanoid.
Yep.
And they only have 1 tower left to defend this Nexus. Maybe Rogue, despite that blunder, can just run it down and end here. Fnatic have to fight back on the 4v5.
Level 17 Upset. He's the player that we're looking at. A consistent carry for Fnatic. Can he save the game here? It could be the first time that Rogue have beaten Fnatic in a playoff series at all.
He could sign ult the tower.
Big damage would come through. Ulti going wide from Comp is massive. That's one of the major reliable engage tools. Larson off to the side. Looking to lock up Hillisang. If they pick off just a single member, they can get things going. That's Hillisang dead before the fight even goes. Upset still standing, yes. But this time around, Rogue, are they going to be able to do it? Razor going golden. Wonder's still not dead. Upset still stacking, but they just need to set their eyes on the prize. Just hit the Nexus. Rogue, they're just going to hit the Nexus. They don't need to beat Fnatic. When they can beat the base, they will find a win and bring us to a game 4.
So